come along with me as I stuff our cash envelopes for week 5 of 2022. Let's go. Hi everybody, Mariane here. If you're new to my channel, welcome. In today's video, I will be stuffing our cash envelopes. This cash envelope stuffing should have been from my husband's income on the 3rd of February. But because he went on a new pay cycle starting February, income on the 3rd was a little less than our normal pay, but it has been made up into today's pay. So I was able to take the money out for this cash envelope stuffing for week 5 of 2022. So let's get started. I keep my cash envelopes in this personal size planner from Filofax. It is the Pop Organizer in the color berry, and it's a leather-like cover, snap closure, 2 pen loops, and a great pop of color on the inside. I'm just going to take off this cover page and clear divider to avoid the glare and make it easier to see. Okay, that's a bit better. Now I currently have these top opening envelopes that I made myself. I wanted the envelopes so it was easy access to put the money in and out, especially during video tapings, without being hindered by the flaps, whether it was on the side or the top. I created the polka dot prints on Procreate, and I just need to tweak the pattern, and I might make the template available so then you can cut your own envelopes from printed paper. Let me know in the comment below if you'd be interested in this. The other thing as well is so that I can reuse my envelopes later down the track, instead of writing on the envelope itself the name of the category it's for, I use these sticky note flags and labeled it with my Dymo label maker. Now this sticky note flag is a plasticky one, so it's a bit more durable than paper, but you can easily use paper sticky notes or post-it notes and cut it to size and then write directly on it. So these are the categories for my cash envelopes: boys clothes, haircuts, Opal cards, which is our tap on tap off transport cards for public transport, my older son's Josh's commission for his chores, an envelope for my health and beauty, an envelope for my husband, electricity sinking fund, gas sinking fund, and a $20 bill challenge. Now, traditionally, you may use cash envelopes for variable spending or expenses, especially for those categories you may overspend on or want to manage better. Now, let's look at an example. Okay, so for example, eating out is a cash envelope that you would like to manage or be a little bit better in your budgeting. So you may be currently eating out too much and want to reduce your spending in that category. So before a pay comes in, you'd assign yourself a budget. Let's say $100 for the next month is what you would allow yourself or permit yourself to spend on eating out or takeaways. Then what you would do is you would get the cash out amongst all the other cash envelopes fund that you would need, and then stuff your cash envelopes. So then let's just say we have budgeted $100 for eating out for the month of March. So until next payday, which will be April, you will have $100 to use at your leisure for eating out. So let's say at the beginning of the month, you're a little bit tired after work, you can't be bothered cooking, you go out and get takeaway, go down to the local Chinese and spend $50. $50 gone, you get your Chinese food. So for the rest of the month, you will have $50 left. Let's say second week of March, again, you can't be bothered cooking on a Sunday night, so you want to order pizza. If you order pizza now, which is only the second week of the month, you will no longer have any money to spend. So then this is a really great way to manage the budget you've assigned yourself for eating out and do a trade-off. All right, well, if I spend the $50 now and it's only the second week into the month, and maybe later on I know it's going to be a little bit hectic at work and I know I'll probably want to eat out or get delivery, should I spend it now and maybe have a look at what's in our cupboard or in the fridge, freezer, pantry that I can cook instead? Cash envelopes is a really great way for you to manage, especially those categories that you know you overspend on. So it's not as if you are telling yourself you can't eat out. It's just instead of having $200, you might reduce it to $150 or $100. And then that way, the other available money can go towards your other financial goals of whether saving up for something, paying off your debt, or any other goals you have set for yourself, whether it's for the month, the quarter, half yearly, or the year. Now, studies have shown that using actual cash triggers pain points in your brain. Ouch, the money's going. If you really want to have a little bit more control or manage your money a bit better, using cash envelopes is a really great way to do that. So that's the traditional way of using cash envelopes for variable expenses or spending or any other categories that you might want to make sure you're not overspending on. Now, however, for us, most of our cash envelopes categories are for those spend that don't come along too often, but it's good to know that we have put money aside and avoid us tapping into other resources. So for example, our boys envelope, it normally has $10 to $20 in there. I stuff it with smaller denomination notes, and it's for when we're out and about and my sons may want ice cream or a frappuccino. So before we head out the door, I go to my cash envelopes, take some money out, pop it in my wallet, and then if they see something they like, then we can afford to spend it on that and not feel guilty that and think, oh, that's too expensive for a frappuccino. One of the goals that we have that is not necessarily financial is creating memories. And so money does come into it because we don't want to be always going as we used to. No, that's too expensive, we can't afford that. My young son actually started saying, oh no, we can't get that because it's too expensive. So I don't want them to remember that as their childhood memory, that we couldn't have some fun by buying little treats. Also, boys' clothes envelope is for when the boys may need new clothes, especially socks and undies. Both my boys have just entered their teenage years, so they're quickly growing out of their clothes. So haircuts, our Opal cards, which is for our transport, my son's commission for chores, my health and beauty, and hubby's cash envelopes all have small amount of funds, which don't justify me creating separate debit accounts for them, or else I'll have too many debit accounts with just all these small funds of 10s and 20s in them. But having separate cash envelopes for these categories allows us to earmark funds for them when it comes time to spending money. So then there's no guilt spending money in these categories because we have budgeted for it ahead of time. Now, I'm sure we can easily cash flow these type of spend when needed, but what I'd be doing is tapping into, let's say, my grocery money or other categories, and then the amount for that spend will decrease and may not be enough for what we budgeted for the month. So it can get messy. It's like borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, or dipping into other categories. So for us, this is easy and simple. We gave ourselves permission to spend because it's part of our budget. Now, Our budget is not to restrict spending. It gives us the opportunities to spend on things we like in line with our goals. So we can enjoy the now while also thinking about the future. So we've got to have trade-offs. Do we want to put some money aside for certain categories, which means we'll take money from other goals that we have? So the Budget Mum, one of the reasons I follow her is because she gave me the aha moment that life is not just about paying off debts or saving money for the bigger goals. It's also about enjoying the now, enjoying the moment, and creating great memories. Sometimes money can enhance those memories. You don't have to spend money to create good memories, but then there are certain experiences that you need funds for. Okay, enough talking. Let's get to stuffing. I'm going to refer to my paycheck budget tracker worksheet from the Budget Mum's Budget by Paycheck. So February is here, and this was the 3rd. So let me just grab that. Okay, so in this section here, the envelopes, so as you can see, before money came in, I had allocated $20 for each of the envelopes that we have. So let's get started. Okay, so for the boys, I'm going to put $20. Like I said, I use small denominations, so 10, 15, 20. There was already 15 in there. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. For the boys' clothes, also $20. This one, I'm going to put a $20 note. There's 10, 15, 20 already in there, so there should be 40, 20, 30, 35, 40. Haircuts, so I'm going to put 20 as well. So there's currently 10, 20, 25. I'm going to do some small denominations. Now, the haircuts are for my husband and sons. They go to a barber, and I think it costs $12 to $15 per haircut, and then they get some Domino's pizzas after for lunch. So there was 20. We're going to add another 20. So 10, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45. Is that right? Okay, so we got 10, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45. I think there was 25 in there. Let me just double check. So I'm going to look at my funds tracker, and haircuts, there was 25. So there we go. Haircuts, there was $25 in there previously. I've added 20, so there should be 45. 10, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45. Correct. Counting and talking at the same time is a little bit difficult. Opal cards, again. So there's $40 in there. Now, we are out of lockdown here in Sydney, Australia, and less restrictions moving about. So we're able to catch public transport from one location to the other, so we will be needing to top up our Opal cards very soon. So I need to put 20 in there. I'm going to use 2 10s because the children's Opal cards minimum is 10, so I need some $10 in there if I need to top up my boys' transport card. So we have 20, 40, 50, 60. My son's commission, 20. So there's 30. My health and beauty, 20. 10, 20, 30, 40. And my husband's 20. So normally he buys his 6-pack of beer. So when he's ready on a Friday after work, he just goes into this envelope, grabs his 20 and buys his beer. All right, so those are the cash envelopes for categories that are not normally regular spend, but it's good to have money put aside so when the time comes to fund them, we have the cash allocated and budgeted for. The next two cash envelopes I have are for my electricity and our gas bills. These are our sinking funds. So sinking fund is a way to save money by setting aside a little bit each month or each pay. So for us, our electricity and gas bill comes in every quarter. So to figure out how much money to put in each envelope per pay, I looked at our previous bills for the previous year and established what the average quarterly bill is. So our electricity per quarter is normally $500 to $600. Each quarter has 3 months, and each month my husband gets paid every fortnight. So that's on average 2 pays per month. So this means every quarter there's about 6 paydays. Sometimes there might be a little bit more because some months will have 3 paydays in them. But on average, there's 6 paydays per quarter. So what I do to find out how much to put in each sinking fund cash envelopes is figure out how much I need to put in per fortnightly or bi-weekly cycle. So I'll take on average the $600 electricity bill divided by 6, which is $100. So each fortnight or each bi-weekly pay, I will assign $100 into our electricity sinking fund cash envelope. I will put $100 in the electricity cash envelopes. There's currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 620, 630, 640. And I'm adding $100. So that's $740. Now our current quarterly bill is going to be probably due sometime today or tomorrow. So that's why there's over $600 in here. But when it does, we have the funds available for it. Now for the gas, on average, our quarterly bill is about $320 to $360. Now, remember, for me to figure out how much each quarter bill is, I looked at previous bills and averaged it out. I already know we get 6 fortnightly pays per quarter. So I'm going to take 360, the average quarterly gas bill, divided by 6. And so I need to put $60 into our gas cash envelope sinking fund. Just as a side note, I've actually already added $40 out of the 60 for this cash envelope stuffing. This is when I talked about moving money around and dipping here, dipping there, and it can get really confusing. So technically 40 of the 60 is already in here. All I need to add is $20. So let's do it this way. 10, 15, 20. So we now have 110, 15, 20. 120, which is 2 paydays worth. So that's right, 60 plus 60 is 120. Sorry, I know I've confused probably some of you, but this is when I talk about dipping into other accounts and it was just a bit messy. But yeah, I couldn't figure out why I had no money left for the next envelope. So that's $60 going into our gas cash envelopes. And now the final one is a $20 bill challenge. This one is inspired by the Budget Mum. So she has one where you save $20 each Friday. Now for this, I budgeted it as part of our paycheck budget tracker and take out $40. So this is for Friday the 4th and Friday the 11th of February. Remember, this cash stuffing is from week 5 of the year. So $40 is going to go into our $20 bill Friday challenge. Now there was nothing in there because the January's $20 savings I had already deposited into a debit account earmarked as TBM or the Budget Mum savings, because I don't really want to keep a lot of money in my cash envelopes. That's $40 for Friday the 4th and Friday the 11th of February. So now that's the stuffing done. All the money's gone. I'll set that aside. The final part is to update my funds tracker. So let me grab that. I keep my funds tracker in my A5 Filofax pop organizer in the color Clover. Now the lining of this is a nice bright pink. It also has snap closure with 2 pen loops. So funds tracker is here. I have these clear divided tabs at the bottom, so you can see cash, debit account, sinking funds, our savings, and total funds in all of those categories. So we're going to update the cash. You can grab this planner insert from my Etsy shop. I'll pop the link in the description below. So I use a box for each category, and then the first one I just use as a total of all the different categories for cash, and I just color the box to highlight it. So let me grab a pen and update my cash tracker. So the boys, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Today is the 17th. 17th, there's $25. Boys clothes, 20, 30, 35, 40. Haircuts, 10, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45. Opal cards, 20, 40, 50, 60. Josh's commission, 20, 30. Health and beauty, 20, 30, 40. And hubby's is 20. And I'll just add all that up. 20 plus 40 plus 30 plus 60 plus 45 plus 40 plus 25. So there is now $260. 17, 260. I'm yet to move the electricity and gas funds tracker amongst the cash, so it's still currently under the sinking, so I might add an extra page here, so then I can add that as well as the $20 savings challenge. So then that way I know exactly how much cash I have in my cash envelopes wallet. So I'll do that off camera, and I'll do that another time. I like having a funds tracker this way to keep track of my spending or how much money is in each category. And as I said earlier, I like to recycle or reuse my cash envelopes. So as you can see, the ones I made myself have no tracking, but I think the one from the Budget Mum, as you can see, have the tracker on the back of it. So if you have a cash envelope that has the funds track on the back and you don't mind just using your envelopes once, you don't have to have it separately like I do, because it can be extra work and in 2 different places. But for me, this is the best way that works, so then I can reuse my envelopes. And that's pretty much it. I will do week 7's cash envelopes because, as I said, my husband got paid today, so I need to go and allocate funds to cash envelopes. Let me just pop back. So I'll allocate funds for the cash envelope for this fortnight's stuffing. So there will be another cash stuffing video by the end of this week. It'll be a lot shorter because then I'll get them to refer to this video for explanation of how each cash envelopes works for us. Thank you so much for watching. Now, if you do like this video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell to get notifications of when I upload new videos. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks again. Bye-bye.